Hey, so yeah, I'm gonna try to explain a little bit more clearly what I was talking about. What I was saying about weak agnosticism, saying I don't know and I don't care. I say that because philosophically it amounts to the same thing as apathetic agnosticism, because it's still you don't know and you're not trying to figure out. On some level, everybody has to be either a weak agnostic or an apathetic agnostic. The question philosophically of being an atheist or theist or agnostic is what you're trying, the answer that you're trying to find, the answer that you're aiming towards, which is why I came up with the term Gnostic, because it's saying I don't know and I'm trying to figure out. So I aim at both sides and try to argue, create argumentation that proves either one. But philosophically speaking and theologically speaking, the atheism and theism aren't stances of saying we know, that they're stances of saying we're trying to know. That's the answer that we're aiming towards. So because yeah, the scientifically atheism and theism amounts to nothing. Scientifically, they don't have anything to do with science. Um, the Bible has something, could have something to do with science, because you can find scientific explanations that either prove or disprove the Bible, but that's the Bible isn't theistic, it's religious. It's that has nothing to do with theism, it has everything to do with Christianity. um, so the question of trying to find scientific proof, it should be moot for an atheist or a theist. People who claim to have scientific proof that shows are probably talking about philosophical proof instead of scientific proof, because a lot of people don't know the difference between the two. But um, yeah, anyone who claims to have scientific evidence for theism or atheism is wrong. Well, wrong as far as humans have figured out so far. I'm no, like I can't be certain that it's impossible to find scientific evidence, but so far there's been absolutely nothing to point towards it, and it seems like it's impossible. I haven't worked out an argument that shows it's impossible scientifically, but it seems like it's impossible because it's really a non sequitur. They don't connect on any level. Um, but yeah, when I was talking about soft agnosticism, I was talking about weak agnosticism and saying that you don't know and you're not actively trying to search for an answer. You're just waiting for other people to tell you. And so philosophically speaking, it's not a real stance because you're not doing anything philosophical about it. And scientifically speaking, it's you could say that it's a real stance, but it's the stance that everybody on some level has to have, because it's so far nobody has figured it out. Nobody has been able to prove the Bible to be true, and I'm pretty sure that without delving into the philosophical side of things, you wouldn't be able to prove some of the claims in the Bible to be true, because the claim where God says I am God, um, we can't have any scientific evidence of that unless God came down to us and told us that He is God. And yeah, that brings me to the other point of the definition of God. The reason that I say that it doesn't seem like you're an agnostic is because the being godlike and being God are very different things. Being godlike is a subjective term that depends on whoever's observing you. So, like to a dog, I'm godlike. I'm a god in the eyes of a dog, but that doesn't mean that I'm actually a god. It just means that the dog thinks that I'm a god. And so if there's someone out there that created us and is godlike, it seems like it's all magic. That doesn't mean that they're a god. It just means that they appear to be a god in our eyes. So yeah, for someone to be a god, they would have to be able to know that they're a god, which means like they wouldn't have to know. They could be oblivious to the fact that they're a god, but they would have to be able to know, which means that it would have to be objectively true that they are God. So yeah, I hope that clears things up a little bit.